Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
And that was your warning. And now, now we can begin. You're about to meet a something, you know? Now, what makes this something get his own episode on my channel is a few things, really. The first is because of his crime and how he went about it and at the age he went about it from. It identifies him as a something and not a someone. And because it's a something, there is very, very, very little chance that this something can become a someone. And because of that very slight chance that he could actually become a someone, he has spent 40 years inside. Now, the second thing of why he's here is to show you a reason why I believe that they should really pay more attention to who they allow to be mentors for young men in prison, especially sex offenders, as this thing is a senior tutor for sex offenders. Because you're about to see this tutor, a senior tutor, who's a mentor, the reason why he hasn't in 40 years actually thought about what he did and how it even affected the victim throughout her life. In this video of this parole hearing, it shows you how little the family of the offender cares about the crime of which was committed towards the victim. And it's not because Aunt Fufu doesn't mention the Vic, but it's how Auntie Fufu shows her disdain. Now, this is a horrific case by horrific something, and there is very, very little that can be taken away as a positive. But in this one case, and I'll leave it in, it is the only light in that tunnel of darkness, and it put a smirk on my face. So, let's begin. And remember, point 2, that this guy is a senior tutor for sex offenders. Unreal.
Good morning, Rodney. Good morning, Rodney.
We can hear you. You say good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Mackey, please give us your full name and your Department of Corrections ID.
Name and DLC number.
Rodney Mason, 93952.
You can't hear me, Mr. Mackey?
Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mackey, my name is Alvin Roche. To my left is Ms. Pearl Wise. To my right is Mr. Pete Freeman. Let me explain the process to you. I will read some information into the record. Once that information is in the record, we'll give Warden Goodwin a chance to make remarks if he wishes. Then we'll allow your supporters, Ms. Van Sanders, a friend and minister, who would like to make a statement. Mr. Clarence Samuels, a friend, would like to make a statement. And your sister, Annie White, would like to make a statement, and she is going to make a statement via the telephone. In opposition, we have Ms. Patricia Waddle, the victim, who would like to make a statement. When all these statements are complete, we'll give you a chance to make a statement on your behalf before we vote. Do you understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mackin, you're currently 60 years old and you're a first felony offender. You've been incarcerated for the last 43 and a half years. You were 16 years old at the time of incarceration. Is that correct?
That's right.
Your offense is aggravated rape, and you were sentenced on May 19th, 1980, and your sentence was life. At the time you were sentenced to life without benefit of probation, parole, or suspension and sentence. You've since got a parole date, and that parole date is October 26, 2007. You don't earn any good time, and your current sentence is life. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you please answer Mr. Freeman's question?
Okay, Mr. Macon, how old are you?
60. 60.
Okay. And how long have you been in jail?
43 and a half years.
Okay. What's your educational level?
I have my GED and a couple
Vocation.
location.
Okay. What kind of vocations did you get?
Sir.
What kind of vocations have you got?
For welding and automotive.
Back in 2020, you were denied because of a lack of a transitional plan. Do you have a rescue plan now?
Yes, sir.
Is it approved? Because the last we got that it wasn't approved. You know, Warden?
I don't know, Mr. Freeman. I know he submitted address with his sister, Miss Ann White, and on College Street in Shreveport, Louisiana. I don't know if it's been approved by probation and parole yet or not. I can check while it's here and go in and see if we've got any notice from him.
One good one. We do have the denial letter. It was denied, and basically CEP has not approved that effect.
Okay. How old were you when you committed this crime?
16.
Were you using any drugs at that time, alcohol?
No, sir. Never used drugs and never drank.
Okay. I mean, what led you to do this crime? I mean, what triggered you?
Oh, I was being so young. I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, because
Do you admit this crime?
yes, sir.
Okay, so you do remember doing
Right.
it. Okay. How do you think the victim felt after you committed this crime?
Well, I think the victim, I ain't really had no contact with the victim.
No, he said, how do you think the victim felt?
Oh.
What kind
Yeah, what kind of damage you think you done?
of, she go first? Yeah, how do you think her emotional state was after the crime?
Right.
You think it was good, bad? I mean, he's asking you your opinion because you haven't had any contact with the individual, but he's asking you your opinion.
I think she was feeling bad. I was wrong. I think she was feeling bad. I knew she was feeling bad. I didn't at that time I didn't really know what I was doing.
You said you didn't know what you were doing. Was it because of your mental state? I mean, why you didn't know what you was doing?
But I just you had to feel bad. And
Next is, what about your juvenile record? You ever arrested as a juvenile?
Yes, sir.
How old were you?
I do the record. Just around 11, 12 years old.
It says you're pretty young. I think you were around 8 years old. Law enforcement is strongly opposed. The DA, the sheriff, the chief, your family is unopposed. The victim is strongly opposed and will speak to us later. What kind of classes have you taken?
They said my vocational skills. I got my GED. I took
Substance abuse and sex offenders. Tell them about the program.
Yeah.
Not your education classes, but your self-help program.
I finished the sex offense class. It's I'm a tutor now in sex offense class. And
Sex offense class.
sir,
What did you learn from your sex offense class?
I learned not to I learned that I was wrong. It gave me put me in a situation where I've been like I say, I wasn't thinking right. I wasn't thinking straight as a kid. And the sex offense class really helped me to understand I was wrong. It also stepped me up. I respect, I accepted my responsibility to what I did.
Okay, your medium custody, you had 80 write-ups, but they were all right after you got over there. In 2008 it was your last write-up. Your risk is low, your institutional record is fair. I see you have some mental health problems. What kind of problems do you? And are you on medication?
Yes, I'm I'm still on medication. I was taking on the outside. I was taking everything on the street, and like I said, I finished the class, and because it really made me recognize my responsibility to accept the things that I changed, respect what I should.
All right, Rodney, he's asking you now about your medication that you're taking, and he wants to know about your mental health and what you do to maintain your mental health. And that's what he's asking about right now.
On medication?
On my medication.
Yeah, in the prison, take medication.
Sir?
Do you take medication?
Take medication in the prison. Warden, does he take medication?
He does, Mr. Freeman. He has a diagnosis, and then he sees Dr. Seal on a scheduled regular basis, and he's on medication, and he's compliant with his medication. That's all I have, Mr. Freeman.
Hey, thank you,
Any
Boyd.
questions?
All I have, Mr. Chairman.
I have a question. I understand now. I get it now that you are nervous today. Because when I heard that you were a tutor for sex offender classes, so it let me know you do some talking. You're a lot more talkative than when you've been with us today. And you kept saying that you were young and you weren't thinking right. And when I go back to that crime, it was during the time of the school day when everybody was gone, except that teacher in that classroom. So you were thinking, you planned that. Is that correct, say?
No, man, I didn't plan on it. It was, I didn't
But
plan,
take me,
yeah.
Or she's asking you how you ended up committing the crime then if you didn't plan it. I mean, that's what she's asking you. Why did you commit the crime if it wasn't planned? And why did you commit the crime? What made
because you
commit-
were not enrolled at that school. You used to attend that school. You were not enrolled at that school on that particular day. And it was between 3 and 4 in the afternoon when most of the school, everybody's gone. She was just in there doing her job, getting some things together. So you timed it perfectly when you ain't heard nobody there. That's why I'm asking you. And you say you weren't thinking right. So take me back to that day. What have you thought about it? And it's 40 years you've been in jail. What have you come to the conclusion of?
Just relax, take your deep breath and explain to Ms. Wise what you need to explain to her. Okay?
Because you say the tutor. I know you have guys deal with this all the time.
Take your deep breath and just talk to her.
Well, like I said, I didn't plan this. I didn't plan on going. I was in the school going through the school parking lot, and it was a shortcut way through the store. To the store, I was going to pick up some items for my father. And I seen her in the classroom. I started walking through the classes. I didn't know she was there. I was just going through the classes, and she asked me, "Do I work here?" I told her no. She asked me, "Did I come here to clean up?" I said no. And she said, what are you doing here? What do you want? So I told her that I told her that she was attracted. And so I just went up through the class and going looking through all the classes. You know, it wasn't some plan like I was going up to plan on raping that woman. So so I just went in her room and she started walking toward the door, and I grabbed it. I mean, I don't know why. You know, there's no why. You know, that I planned this, I definitely didn't plan it. That's all.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you. That's all I had, Tim.
Mr. Macon. Mr. Macon,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes, sir.
So you were going to the store to pick up some items for your dad, right?
All right.
Why did you have to walk through a school?
It's a shortcut way from where we lived at to the store. It's going, you go through.
Why did you have to walk through the building? You could have walked through the yard.
Why were you inside? Why were you inside instead of cutting through the yard? Why did you go inside the building? That's what he's asking.
It's just, we always went, my brothers and sisters, other people, they always just use a shortcut. We just, it's a short way to go. And
Now, Mr. Macon, you were a student at that school at one time, right?
Yes, sir.
Why were you not in school at that time?
Oh, I had moved on to another school. I was at that school for about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, what was the reason why you left that school? Oh, did you get expelled?
No, sir. I graduated from that school, like from
Elementary school.
I
So you
grad-
okay, so you had passed that level and you were at another school.
yes, sir.
So if you didn't plan it, why did you physically attack Miss Wiley? Why did you, and I'm quoting from the police report, you beat, choked, hit, you bit her, and you slammed her to the ceramic tile floor and hit her head, grabbed her hair, and smashed her head to the floor multiple times. Why would you do that if you didn't plan to harm her when you went in?
Excuse me. I went, like I said, I went to the school, through the school, and I didn't plan no one being in the building. I didn't know nobody was in the building. So like I said, it was a shortcut way to the store. I had no plans on going in that building and raping that woman.
He's asking about the violence that the victim suffered through the violence, about, you know, what he's reading from the police report. He's asking you if you didn't plan all that, if you didn't plan to do it, why did you end up being so violent with the victim? That's what he's asking you.
Well, like I say, the victim, I opened up her door and she was in there putting together a doll or something. And I really can't remember doing
Sir, you don't get that violent with the individual unless you had some kind of premeditated reason for being in that school.
Sure.
Can you explain your actions of the violence that's against the victim? That's what he's wanting you to explain, Rodney. If you can't explain it, then tell him you can't explain it. But he's asking you specific questions, and you need to answer the question if you can.
But being violent, she I don't know, man. She tried to run, I guess, go out the school door, and in fact, I learned that there was several teachers still there in the school. I wouldn't pick her out.
If a 16-year-old stranger walked in my classroom after school hours, acting very peculiar, I would start running too.
Yeah.
So you can't explain why you violently beat, bit, threw a person to the floor, smashed their head on the floor multiple times, then you sexually assault. Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll hear from Van Sanders, a friend and a minister and probably a spiritual advisor to the offender. Reverend Sanders?
Yes. First off, I'm in the Catholic Church, I'm a lay minister. I'm not a ordained minister. I'm a lay minister. And we have had some very good conversations about God, about Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. And I think he lives by, he says he will stand on the word of God. That's what he lives by. And that's, I believe, what he is all about, standing on the word of God. And I think he is ready to be allowed to come back into society. And he understands what the meaning of restorative justice is, because we talk about it in the class, and to be let back into the society. And I would end by saying this, and I think he would be a good citizen back out here with us. And that's where I'll end it.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders, and thank you for your work with the offenders at David Wade. Mr. Clarence Samuels, a friend.
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Rodney's his friend. I've been his friend since my 15 years at David Wade. I discharged in September of 2013. Rodney impressed me by his character as an inmate. As an inmate, you get to see all kinds.
You see people you know, I just ran to the car, and you see other people did something crazy a long time ago, and they have had that attached to them, so no matter how you change, that bad thing they did, although it's not part of the character anymore, it holds them down.
In the late 80s, got on probation for that. I went to jail for 15 years. Behold, when I get out this time. And we had this friendship change. I'm respected in the community, respected at work. He did a horrendous thing when he was 16 years old. He acted on impulse.
Samuels, wrap it up. Wrap it up, Mr. Samuels. Wrap it up.
All right, the man he's changed. He's not that person who did that bad thing. And how long is long enough? I mean, he's an old man. I can help him get a job. I've been sending him money. I'm going to. Because of what we did wrong. That's part of the growing process. And then we recover.
Samuels, over 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Ms. Ann White. Ms. White. Would you please give us your name and your statement?
Annie White. You got him from you, Annie White. I'm Annie White. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Make a statement.
Rodney is my brother, a half brother. I've been trying to get him out of jail since it started when he was in Angola. We were able to get him out of Angola and get him to David Wade, and for a while Fort Wade, until it closed. And he's able to stay here with me. I have a large house, and he's more than welcome here. I've been trying to get him out of jail for unknown years. And I would just like him home, because I feel like 40 years he's been there almost. How long should he pay for a crime that he did when he was a young man? That's all I really got to say. I would just like him home.
Are you the one that live on West College Street?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that residence has been denied. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, that residence plan has been denied. We don't have a reason.
Well, Miss Jennifer, she
Yes,
said,
ma'am.
when I talked to her, she said she had been trying to reach me and hadn't been able to reach me. So she had Rodney to call me, and I called her, and she said, well, I had problems reaching you, and since I wasn't able to reach you, I denied it. I
Yes,
said, I
ma'am.
don't know why, because I talked to another probation officer. He came here and I talked to him, and she said, oh, he's not the one that handled the case. He was just doing a probation thing. But when I talked to her, she said, well, you've done all you can do. You have to, Rodney have to do the rest. And she didn't say what the rest was, but when I talked to Rodney, he said, yeah, I know what I have to do. I have to file again for residency. He is welcome here, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to talk to Miss Jennifer before then.
But Jennifer has the correct phone number now?
She has the correct phone number and she has the correct address.
Very good. Very good. All right, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White.
So that's
Thank you. Well, now we'll hear from Patricia Wido, the victim. Ms. Wido, would you please open your mic? Thank you.
I am Patricia Waddle. My name was Patricia Welch back during the attack. I was a young mother, 2-year-old child at home. Just started my teaching career, graduated from college, was excited, assigned a 3rd grade classroom. And did I survive? Yes, I survived. I finished my career. I did 43 years in the field of education, taught children with disabilities, children from poverty, was involved with Head Start. But not a day goes by that I don't feel the trauma and the scars that I suffered that day. When I got home that evening, I'm sorry, I thought I could do this without tearing up, but I'm trying. When I got home that evening, my 2-year-old child, I held him because I thought I was going to die. I knew I was going to die. And the only thing I could think of was my child. I had to go home to my baby because he had a disability and he needed a mother. And he looked at my face that was all swollen and he just said, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm okay." But he chose to go to that school. My classroom was on the 3rd floor, 2nd or 3rd floor. I don't remember. It was not on the ground floor. So if he was making a shortcut through the building, why did he go upstairs? I was teaching 3rd graders who didn't have much. And I was putting in a playhouse so they could have a place to pretend. And he came in, and at first I thought he was a cleaner because they used a lot of young teenagers to clean the classrooms. And the minute I found out that he wasn't, I tried everything I could to get out of that classroom. I got to the door. So many times I reached for the doorknob and he would yank me back. Even through my entire career, I could never have my door closed because the principal for 43 years would come by and close my door and I would open it because I couldn't understand why I was so fearful of being stuck in a classroom with a closed door. But now I know why. It's because I wanted so badly to get out, to escape, to survive, to live. This was done in an elementary school in the middle of the day, a violent crime. We have to stop that. It's getting too much. Too much violence are in schools. Schools are safe haven. He made the choice to enter that school. He made the choice of going up to the 2 or 3 flights of stairs. He made the choice of entering my classroom. He made the choice of attacking me, beating me, raping me, almost killing me. Those were his choices. And I just can't fathom being released back out where he can make that choice again and maybe have more victims or even a child. So thank you for this opportunity. That's all I have to say is I have suffered. I survived, but I've suffered. Thank you.
Ms. Wiley. Mr. Macon, would you like to make a very brief closing statement?
Yes, sir. We know that kids have committed all kind of crimes out on the street, in the free world. And like I said, I'm very sorry for what I did. Very sorry. Not it's something I had to live with for the rest of my life. Remorse. And now I understand how the victim felt. But 40 years in prison, that I don't understand. Saying I want she wished that I'd die in prison. And I don't want to die in prison. And thank you.
Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Okay, no doubt that Mr. Macon has committed a very horrendous crime, and he was a teenager at the age of 16. I do believe he probably had seen Miss Waddle before and thought she was a very nice looking lady, and it probably was premeditated. But the fact is, Mr. Macon, you served 43 years. You've had a good prison record, a good disciplinary record. You had good comments from the warden. So I'm going to vote to grant with electronic monitoring and a curfew of 9 to 6. I want you to get a mental health evaluation and follow any recommended treatment. Warden, hopefully he'll be sent home with 2 weeks of medicine, and the probation officer will be notified that y'all have an appointment set up for it.
Absolutely.
Can't get to that evaluation, you call your probation officer and they will get you there. Okay? Because I think you need to stay on your medicine 100%. This is a very, very, very tough case, but that's my vote today.
Mrs. Wise.
Mr. Rodney, I'm having a hard time. Ms. Wallow, I can just sense that you rendered excellent service on your 40 years in education. I commend you for that. You made the adjustments. I really commend you for that. A lot of students are better off because you touched their lives. But Rodney, you didn't answer my questions the way I thought you should. I don't think that you and I hope when you talk to the young men, you prepare them to own their crime. Go ahead and process it and go ahead and figure it out, because you're gonna be asked about it and hear it. So pass that on, to other guys, down the road. But the community support that you have, the family support that you have, and the positive comments from the warden, I'm inclined to take a chance on it. My vote is to grant as well, and I concur with the special conditions that's been set forth by.
And here's the smirk. Yes, indeed, happy, well, Yappy here, is as happy as can be. And that really does put a smirk on my face, because you see, Yappy, who paid no homage or asked for forgiveness for his rapist friend, and he did dribble on for ages, yeah, old Yappy here thinks that his rapist mate is getting out, because Yappy believes, just like Meatloaf, that 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But what Yappy should have done was read the fine print, and then he would have realised that he needs a strike to get his something home. So watch the difference in Yapster's face when confusion and anger take the place of goofy, stupid, and very disrespectful. Oh, puts a smirk on my face, indeed.
By my colleague, and that is my vote.
Rodney, you have received 2 votes to grant your request with attached conditions. Rodney, you interviewed with very poor. You did not answer our questions. And based on adamant opposition from the victim, based on opposition from the judge in the first JDC, who's strongly opposed, opposition from the Caddo Parish DA's office, opposition from the Caddo Parish Sheriff, Steve Prater, and opposition from the Chief of Police of the city of Freeport, Louisiana. I'm going to deny your request. Based on a vote of 2 to 1, your request for early release has been denied. You have a good day. Warden Goodwin?
Yes, sir.
This concludes our hearings at David Wade.
This episode, well, it was a pretty dark episode, really. And it was a messed up one, really. I think that it shows the difference in understanding and empathy, intelligence and stupidity. It's like, because they don't have empathy, they don't know how to express it, and when and who they should express it for. It's usually those people that are faced with the same situation or event that they're the first people that every time want everyone to feel empathy for them. I think the difference between those people that have it and those people that don't is that you won't hear the people that have it ever say, just get over it. And it's a shame and it's annoying that there are so many foo-foos out there. So, until the next time, stay the fuck away from foo-foos. Ka kite. Oh yeah, last thing, check out this playlist for me. If you haven't seen it, it's gold. Anyways, this time, ka kite.